travel with us from Temple Sherry-Ameth on Craig Road in Manalapan, New Jersey, to the historic Craig House in Monmouth Battlefield State Park, only 3/4 of a mile away as the drone flies. It is one of only 3 structures still standing from the Battle of Monmouth in the American Revolution, when it was used as a field hospital. On Purim, we honor Esther, our revolutionary hero, whose extraordinary courage saved us as a people so long ago. Join us as we tell her story.
How does a Jewish orphan niece to our Mordechai hero, born in the middle of a Mesopotamia and Shushan by providence, be clever and unspoiled, grow up to be a rockin' Persian royal?
The Jewish girl, with no father to safeguard her, got a lot farther by thinking a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter. By the end, they couldn't deny or disregard her.
When an evil man came and devastation reigned, our girl saw her future dripping down the drain, put a finger to her temple and used her clever brain, and came up with a plan to cause Haman some pain.
Well, the word got around is that there's one guy to blame, man. Put him in the Bible so they'll learn of awful Haman. One girl sprung the trap for him and made her claim to fame. Does the world celebrate her name? What's your name, miss?
Esther, niece of Mordechai. My name is Esther, niece of Mordechai. I'm the one the Jews will glorify. So just you wait, just you wait.
In Shushan, that's where it all began. In Shushan, that's where it all began. In Shushan, that's where it all began. In Shushan,
just you wait.
Esther, niece of Mordechai. The Bible made the book for you. Will they know you're the heroine? Will they know how you got your win? The Jews will never be the same. Oh,
The Purim story is starting now. See if you can spot her. Bringing pride every Jew to every son and daughter. We always sing of Mordechai. He's just the one who taught her.
I preceded her.
I encouraged her.
Me? I married her.
Hey, I raised her.
And me, I'm the one who tried to dupe her.
Ooh, she's the one the Jews will glorify. She changed our fate.
What's your name, miss?
Esther, niece of Mordechai.
Long, long ago, in the land of Persia, in the city of Shushan, lived a very rich king whose name was Ahasuerus. He was a foolish king who spent most of his time in the palace giving parties and drinking. Well, one day he ordered his queen Vashti to come to a banquet he had prepared and asked her to entertain his friends. He told her that since he was her king, she had to obey him. Vashti refused, and she never believed that the king would take away her crown forever.
You say the price of your love is to march in a solo parade. You cry 'cause your friends want to see me perform my tiara displayed. Why so sad? Remember, I'm here to be queen, not your toy to display. Now you're making me mad. There's really no call to be mean, 'cause you can't get your way. I'll be back as the queen. I've not left the show, I've left the scene. I'll be back, time will tell, and you'll realize I've served you well. Oceans rise, empires fall. You will need your queen bee through it all. Here's one thing you can trust: I won't entertain your friends and family just because you say I must. Da 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 da. that you're abstaining and you won't go on. You'll be the one complaining when you are gone. And oh, don't change the subject. Guess what? You're still my subject. My sweet subordinate subject. My spoiled royal subject. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
I'll be back like before. You'll remember me for what I wore, for your friends on your stage, and you'll love me till a ripe old age. You'll go mad when I'm gone, but it's not too late to change your song. So recall, we discussed, I won't charm your friends and family just because you say I must. Da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Everybody. Da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da.
The king fired Vashti and needed a new queen. A Jewish man named Mordecai brought his young niece Esther to the palace to enter a beauty contest. Ahasuerus chose Esther to be his new queen. She was a little nervous, but she knew that she was destined for greatness if she could keep it a secret that she was Jewish, because maybe she would have one shot someday to use that fact for a good cause.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. 'Cause I know I'm pretty newish, I'm young, clever, and Jewish, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I'ma be the new queen of all Persia. I guess you get the gig if King Ahash prefers ya. The problem is I got a Jewish heart but gotta hide it. Not just a pretty face, I got a solid brain that's deep inside it. I'm a hero in the making. I'm new at being queen, trying to make a scene, a novice to the governing machine. Only 19 and a sight to behold, a real shining heart of gold, a real mention I'll shoulder every burden in the story in my royal purgatory. I don't need to have the glory. I see a category with a female Jewish hero in the frame. But man, it's getting hard, so let me spell out my name. I am the
Aleph, Samach, Tav, and Resh.
And I majored in accommodation. I'm a heroine with focus and discipline, so that I'm not worrying about what might have been.
And I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. 'Cause I know I'm pretty newish, I'm young, clever, and Jewish, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. 'Cause I know I'm pretty newish, I'm young, clever, and Jewish, and I'm
not throwing away my,
not throwing away my shot.
One day, when Mordecai came to visit Esther, he heard two of the palace guards plotting to kill Ahasuerus. Mordecai told Esther, and Esther told the king. The king's officers arrested the two men. The story of how Mordecai saved the king's life was written down in the royal diary.
Achar hadvarim ha'ele gidal hamelech Achashverosh et Haman ben Hamdata ha'agagi vainasehu vayasem et kiso me'al kol hasarim asher oto v'chol avadei hamelech asher bashar hamelech koreim umishtachavim lehaman ki chen tziva lo hamelech u'Mordechai lo yichara velo yishtachaveh. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes who were with him. All the king's servants who were in the king's gate bowed down and did reverence to Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai didn't bow down, nor did him reverence.
The king elevated one of his nobles to be chief minister of the king's palace. He was a very wicked man whose name was Haman. All the people in Shushan bowed down before Haman, except for Mordecai the Jew, who refused to bow down. This made Haman very angry, and he decided he would get rid of Mordecai and the rest of the Jews.
Haman asked his magicians to select a day to do away with the Jewish people. They used Purim, or lots, which were magic numbers, to select just the right day. They chose the 13th day of the Jewish month, Adar.
Haman told Ahasuerus the king that the Jews did not obey the king's laws and should be gotten rid of. Well, the king agreed to issue a royal order to have all the Jewish people in the land destroyed.
When Mordecai heard that he and his people were in danger, he and his featured ensemble begged his niece Esther, the queen, to try to change the king's mind.
They say the king has decreed that the Jews should be all wiped away. Insane. You married the king, that means you should have some kind of say.
We're so doomed. I thought that we'd made it for once he married a Jew. Now it's all gone askew. And now that we've heard his pronouncement, I've got a small question for you.
What comes next? You're the queen. Do you really want to leave the scene?
You're on your own. Holy cow! It's all up to you. What happens now?
Oceans rise, empires fall. Only you, my queen, can save us all.
All alone, can't you see? You may be a Persian royal, but you're still an M.O.T. Da 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 da. It's up to you.
Esther was afraid. She knew that no one was allowed to visit the king without permission, but she realized that she alone could save the Jewish people. She agreed to go. Mordecai told her to pray for courage. For 3 days, Esther did not eat or sleep.
On the third day, Esther got up the courage to invite the king to a big banquet, and she asked him to bring Haman. At the same time, the king heard the news that Mordecai the Jew had once saved his life, and he ordered Haman to parade Mordecai on a royal horse through town. At the banquet, the king saw that Esther looked very unhappy. When he asked her what was wrong, she told the king that a wicked man was planning to wipe her out and the rest of her people, the Jews.
Vayomer hamelech Achashverosh, vayomer laEsther hamalka, mihu zeh ve'ezehu, asher mala'o libo ala asot kain, vatomer Esther, ish tsar ve'oyev, Haman, hara hazeh v'Haman niv'at milifnei hamelech v'hamalka. Then spoke the king Ahasuerus and said to Esther the queen, "Who is he, and where is he that dared presume in his heart to do so?" Esther said, "An adversary and an enemy, even this wicked Haman." Then Haman was terrified before the king and queen. The king became very angry about the plot to do away with the queen and demanded to know who the wicked man was. Esther pointed to Haman. The king ordered that Haman be kicked out immediately.
The king appointed Mordecai to take Haman's place as the chief minister and dressed him in royal robes of blue and white and gave him a big golden crown to wear.
The Jews were very happy to be saved. On the 14th day of Adar, they celebrated with great feasts and banquets. They sent gifts of food to their friends, shared sweet treats, and gave gifts to the poor people throughout the land.
Mordecai told them that each year on the same day, they should celebrate to remember how the Jewish people were saved from Haman's evil plot. The holiday became known as Purim after the magic numbers or lots that, get ready, this is the last one, really go crazy, Haman's magicians had used.
Mordecai became a great man in the palace of King Ahasuerus and did many good things for the Jews. Mordecai and Esther were brave and showed themselves as Jews. Will you stand up proudly? The story has its eyes on you.
Let me tell you what I wish I'd known when we started to tell our tale. It doesn't matter who gets in the title. What matters is that Haman failed.
Did it happen this way? Did Esther save the Jews? Even though it sounds cliche, history has its eyes on you.
History has its eyes.
Had me embroiled. You have no control.
Who's rich, who's poor, and who is loyal?
Every person today must stand up tall and true. Consider the word you say. I guess
This story has its eyes on you. Saved by you. Will we hear your inspiring name and retell how you changed the game? The Jews will never be the same.
Oh, Purim story's over now. Time for Haman Tashin. Read the whole Megillah. Esther hasn't been forgotten. We punished Haman for his crimes and foiled all his plotting.
It's a miracle we all survived. She changed our fate.